So before I go into this video, I just want to make sure to let you guys know that I don't mean this video to be a spite or to be an aggression towards anyone with this mentality. I just want to prove a point that diversity and characters that look like you are already out there in the public, and I'm just making it more accessible for you guys to be aware of the importance of how each and every single one of us has a responsibility to do our part in supporting each other so that we can get the contents that we want to see. So in this video, I'm going to be highlighting 15 webtoons and manga that feature black characters as lead roles. So these aren't going to be characters who are side characters for the main white character, whatever the case may be. These are characters that have been created by authors and writers who feel the same way that you do in wanting to see characters that look like you be portrayed in a more natural and I guess just a natural way where it doesn't feel like they have to do it because of some agenda. This video is to help you find some stories that are still active, it's still been updated, and you can go and read them now to give them the push-up that they need and obviously fill the void that you've been looking for. So the first one that I want to talk about, I'm gonna get this one out of the way first because this one looks good, but the problem is it hasn't been updated in quite some time, and that is Project Divider. So the synopsis for this one is that dreams, are they really just random? What if our dreams were a message from something greater, trying to show us the truth? Maybe the reality we live isn't even real. Follow a dual narrative story of two groups of people as they uncover the truth of the world that has been hidden from them from birth. There isn't a right or wrong path, only your own. What is your story? It's a fantasy sci-fi webtoon that looks really good. Every character is, really epic looking, and what I like about the designs of these characters is that I can't tell you which one of them is the main character because that's how great every design is. Now, it hasn't been updated since September 2021, but the creators have made a promise that they're gonna come back in 2022 and post something. So keep this one on your subscription list because I feel like if you're looking for something with more diverse cast of characters, this one is something for you to keep an eye on. The next one is Black Sun. The synopsis is simply a boy who has no knowledge of the burden he carries or the evil that lurks in the dark, searching for him since birth, will soon feel the weight of being the last hope, the last flame of humanity. It's an action superhero story that features a young character who obviously lost his mother and his father to a underground demon world, and now he's trying to find a way to get stronger in order to avenge his parents. This is another story that's on Webtoon. Like I said, it's there. You just have to help each other out, talk about it, and communicate. This one has a really good art, good story. I can see a good future for this story if it gets the support that it needs. The next one, I think this one is something that most people are already kind of aware of, and that is ORDEAL. The synopsis of the ORDEAL is simply, Che is just a human in a world full of superpowered chemios, but he's determined to become the greatest fighter to ever live. When his mentor is murdered, Chi swears vengeance and embarks on a mission to unmask the killer, but soon Che learns that the world of chemos is much larger than he's ever imagined, and that he himself might be one of the most powerful chemios on Earth, with the power of the sun itself. Will Chi be able to harness the new strength, or will he burn up in the heat of his ordeal? It's an action story with superpowered people. Some people are born with superpowers, some people are not born with superpowers, so the world is trying to find a balance between these two people of existence. It's kind of like the X-Men in some sense, but the difference is that the X-Men, the chemios in this world, they're not hiding. They're pretty much allowed to work with the human world so long as they comply with the rules that has been established. Pretty cool stuff. It's already a Webtoon original, so it's getting the support that it needs, but obviously more subscribers to something like this is never a problem. So if it's something that you're interested in, please check it out. You can see the graphics looks really good, really intense, and it's high quality stuff, so go check it out. The next one that I found was actually recently, and I really do like the character dynamics between these two main characters, and that is Jupiter Men. So the synopsis for this one is, twins Quinton and Jackie have to take over the superhero duties of their city's legendary and mysterious hero, Jupiter Man, after he suddenly disappears. They thought that would mean stopping petty crimes, but they were prepared for Jupiter's man's true job: fighting monsters, stopping magical disasters, policing interdimensional beings, and taking down supervillains. Will the twins survive long enough to find Jupiter Man, or will they crumble under the weight of their new responsibilities? This one I like a lot because, especially the designs, it has this classical Disney Channel vibe to it, where the characters are just so fun to watch and to follow and to see what they're going to be up to. You know, Quentin is the goofy kid brother, and then, you know, Jackie is the, you know, more responsible, wise sister, but also has her own cheeky personality to it. And seeing these two twins do their thing, pretty interesting. So if you want to check that out as well, do subscribe to them on Webtoon. The ones I've mentioned so far have all been on Webtoon, but there will be some that aren't on Webtoon, but they're still pretty cool. The next one is for those of you who like a little bit of that Dragon Ball vibe, and that is WARDEN. So, synopsis for WARDEN is: in a world full of monsters and dreadful creatures, humankind have been forced to hide and live in small, secluded villages. But not all hope is lost. There are those who are able to face and defeat these beasts. Turner is a young master slayer that bears the mark of the Warden. Traveling all alone from village to village, he'll meet new friends and face terrible foes, all while learning more about his mysterious powers. This one is one of those webtoons that isn't in color, but it follows the traditional manga aesthetic, which is, if you like that kind of aesthetic, and it's really good. As you guys can see from the screenshots that I'm posting on the screen, it's really good, it's really sharp. I like the story so far. If you like the aesthetic and I guess the power system in this world is actually very interesting, but obviously this guy, I think he works alone, so the chapters don't come out every single week like usual webtoons, which is fine by me as long as the quality is great. I've never been bothered by someone who posts, let's say, once every month or once every 2 months. So long as you have a steady schedule and something that I know when to expect for you to come back, that's cool. And you also have to remember that these people are working out of their own pockets, out of their own time, which is why it's very important that when you find stories that you like, you support it by talking about it, sharing it, and that will give more of a public eye. And then maybe some people who are willing to become Patreons, they can support him, and obviously he'll be able to work faster. The next one, obviously, this one's a self-promo. This one's my story, Red Rapture. So I'll give you guys a synopsis. A tale that follows a young boy who lived a blissful life. He ponders daily a simple question: would God bless humanity just to watch it suffer? After he too is given the gift, Negusa's forced to find an answer and uncover the truth behind the great light. This one's an action sci-fi story, the one I've been working on personally. It's a bi-monthly series, so it's 2 episodes every single month. But obviously if I get the support that I need, I could always bump it up. But for now, it's a 2 episode every single month. It has inspiration from various shonen that I grew up watching and reading and stuff like that. And obviously, as you can tell, my artist who's working on the story, she's an exceptional artist, and I really do like the way that she conveys the character's expression, their style, everything just fits the way exactly that I want. So yeah, it's also on Webtoon, and if you wanna see stories that match the likes of Naruto, you know, Hunter x Hunter, Attack on Titan, well, there won't be titans, but the philosophical questions that will be asked in the story is part of the reasons why I wrote the story in the first place. And it's on Webtoon, let's go check it out. The last one is one that I feel like the ladies will enjoy, and that is Sol Invictus. So let me just read the description for this one here. Adra Melek is reborn as the daughter of the sun god. She is tasked with retrieving and absorbing 12 shards, each one being part of an ancient evil. Her reward? Becoming a full-fledged deity. However, she knows she's being lied to and will be killed by the people she loves and trusts the most. Updates twice a month. So similar to mine. I started reading this because I like the idea of an isekai that goes into a video game fighting side of things, but I realized after reading it a couple of episodes in, it wasn't really meant for me. And you'll see why. You know, there's a lot of big buff dudes. Yeah, so basically, for all the ladies out here who are asking for a lead black female and with a bunch of buff men, this one's for you. Like, it has good art. Like as you guys can see on the screen, it has good art. The story I think is good enough. Like I said, it's not for me. This story was not written for me, but I feel like if you're one of those people who enjoys seeing those type of dynamics, you'll be able to tell if it's good quality, fan service for the ladies, obviously, and for obviously some guys who actually enjoy that. Now, let's go into manga, because even in the manga, like it's gotten a little bit better. There's still like characters who can be the main character, and obviously, like I said, the first manga that I want to talk about is The Last Order, Hitori Bochi no Hakune. Sorry, let me try that again. Last Order, Hitori Bochi no Hayakunen Sensu. That's the name. So basically, the synopsis for this one is that a post-apocalyptic world, following her last order, the mechanical soldier Ria has been fighting an endless war for over 100 years. With the people she was meant to protect gone and her comrades in arms lost, Ria spends her days fighting alone. Then a human appears before her once more. This was a really, I believe, touching story of a robot who's been fighting a war for over 100 years. And as you begin to learn her history, her character, and all that stuff, you begin to feel sympathy for her. And I feel like this is a really good manga that actually features a dark-skinned, a dark-skinned character that you don't really see too often being the main lead, essentially. But yeah, something to check out. As you guys, when it comes to manga, listen, I'm not going to tell you where you can find them, but you have your sources, you can find them. The next one isn't really a manga, but it's selling as a comic, so you have to buy this one here to read it, and this one is NIOBE. So the synopsis for NIOBE is, the story is as follows. NIOBE Ayutami, an orphaned wild elf teenager and would-be savior of the vast, volatile fantasy of the world of Asunda. She is running from a past where the devil himself would seem her damned, toward an epic future that patiently waits for her to bind nations against the hordes of hell. This one is one of those stories where, there's a lot of the typical fantasy tropes like elves, dwarves, werewolves and all that stuff, but it has its own twist to it. And obviously NIOBE is the main character of this story. It has a bunch of series. This one actually is being made into a TV series by HBO. So it has good quality, obviously. If it's been picked up by HBO, it's a good quality series. I've read it. The first few books, the art wasn't really that great. But in the second part, NIOBE, She is Life. Or is it NIOBE, She is Dead? I'm not too sure. So there's two parts. So there's NIOBE, She is Life, and NIOBE, She is Dead. The second part of it, the art quality jumped dramatically. It's like going from base form to Super Saiyan God. So I would stick through it in the first part, and then you'll be rewarded for your loyalty in the second part. The next one is one that you probably have heard recently, and that is Black Sands. The creator, Mr. Gordy, was on the TV show Shark Tank to kind of get some investments for his business, and he was successful at getting a deal of 500k with 30% not ownership, but it's more like I forgot what it is, but it's 30% something. Anyways, his main title, The Black Sands, is a pretty good book that I've been personally invested in. Alright, so here's the synopsis. Black Sands follows the young prince Azur on his path to become the next pharaoh of Kemet, when he and his kin are dragged into a war that threatens the realms of men. What is unique about Black Sands compared to the competition is the extreme attention to details in the narrative, political relationship, and mythical laws placed in the story. Yeah, so let's go on. That's a really good story. The art is pretty good, and obviously it features African history, so it's always a plus. The next one is featured in a different publication, and this one is called Clock Strikers. So the synopsis for this one is the story is about Cast. The name of the character is Cast, a 12-year-old girl who dreams of becoming a smith, a part-time warrior, part-time engineer, and all-around problem solver. The problem: smiths are usually not women, and even less so young black kids. Selected as the striker apprentice to the enigmatic Philomena Clock, something like that, one of the rare female smiths, and considered a loose cannon, Cass is determined to follow her dreams no matter how dangerous her adventure gets. This one is being published, I believe, let me just open this up real quick, by Saturday AM, which is another publication that focuses on diverse cast of characters. I like this one here because this one here just looks really cool. It looks like really striking. I like the design of the main character, and it just has that really cool manga vibe to it. Manga shonen, to be more precise, which is what this is inspired by. So it's definitely worth checking out. I believe this one here you have to purchase the subscription for the Saturday AM. So yeah, and the last one I will be checking out, which is a book that you can purchase, I believe, and that is Ianu, Child of Wonder. So the synopsis for this one here is that it's been over 1,000 years since the Age of Wonders, a time where divine ones blessed humanity with spiritual, structural, and technological marvels. But in the blink of an eye, it all vanished, and all that was left were remains of the ancient advanced civilization. As humankind forge ahead, culture become knowledge, knowledge become history, and history become mythologies. Until Ianu, a teenage orphan girl with no recollection of her past, who suddenly discovers that she has hidden powers that rival the divine ones themselves. As Ianu tries to come to terms with her new abilities, the people of the Yoruba land become aware of her ancient evil. They become aware of an ancient evil that has reawakened. All that is left between them and destruction are the memories locked away in the mind of Ianu. This one's I think it's one that you can buy from, I think if you look it up on Amazon, or maybe you can find them on their main website, which I believe you can find. Oh, this one's the Kickstarter, but I think it's available if you look for it. I think the publisher Unique is the one that does it, but yeah, and that's pretty much it. This is just a few of the ones that I was able to find, and the ones that I've actually personally have checked out myself, so I can verify the quality of these stories. But like I said, I'm just one person. Like, you know, for me, I'm no longer asking for diverse characters anymore. I think that's just a personal waste of time. I'm just gonna keep my eye out whenever I see these type of stories. I'll check them out, and if they're good in quality, I will obviously recommend them on my website. And maybe in the near future, if you guys enjoy this video, I'll probably make a part 2 of the new stories that I found over the months. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'm Pyros, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.